Today, we get nosy with Muda members' finances. We do not own any shares mentioned on the slides, and as usual, none of what we say should be taken as financial advice. Now guys, we have an upcoming deep dive special premium session just for you. It will be happening on the 14th of August, and the early bird pricing has already begun, which will end on the 10th of August midnight. So quickly head over to the comment section or the description to grab yourself a seat. All right, so, before we begin, just want to let you know that actually Syed Saddiq, who is quite synonymous with Muda right now, will not be one of the candidates, right? And as such, we will not focus too much on his asset breakdown. But for those of you who are curious, he's worth, nearly 2 million ringgit. A big chunk of that is in two houses. One is his own, I think valued at, in November around 880,000. And then he owns around half of the family home in, I believe, Shah Alam, which, pushes his net worth well over 1 million ringgit. So that's the basic breakdown. But yes, let's start, Jonathan. So this is the team age.
Yeah, it's a very young team. Only there's like one which is like 59 years old, quite skewed to the other side of the spectrum. But then majority of them are pretty young candidates, and then the youngest is only like 23 years old.
That's Melanie.
Yeah. So that's why it's Muda, right? But anyway, just now MJAD went through Syed Saddiq's net worth, but let's have a look at the other candidates' reported net asset. So net asset, I categorize it as whatever total asset minus of their total liability. So that's why I get the number. You can see the number one spot here, we have VKK Raja. I believe he owns a lot of different types of Sendia Berhad. He's also part of the director, and he also has like a salary of about 25,000. Now, not all of them got declared their salary. Some of them have zero. I think it's only like 10 out of 19 of the members actually declared salaries. So that's why I didn't include it. But then, yeah, this is their entire total net asset.
So only around 5 have a negative net worth.
Yeah, I think majority of their loans are either PTPTN, car loan, all this stuff.
Later on we'll see, like, it gets quite interesting.
Yeah. So this one, it is their net asset excluding car, because some of us, or maybe me, I don't see car as an asset. It's a depreciating asset. Yeah, it's a liability. So that's why you can see that still there's some of them are in the top spot, like VKK Raja, Dr. Siva. All of these guys are still at the top spot that holds a lot of like properties and other, like maybe cash in the bank or KWSP.
So I just want to say that the biggest change here is actually Dobby. So you can see Dobby has a net worth of 115,000 ringgit.
Yeah.
Then once you remove the car, and then he's now negative.
Yeah, exactly.
So if you do the math quickly, his car is worth about 160,000 ringgit, correct?
Yeah.
That's very interesting. His net worth is tied to his car.
Yeah, exactly. And liquid net worth is basically defined as whatever asset that can be converted into cash in days or even in weeks. So I'm excluding the KWSP and everything, but I actually included their jewelry or watches, because I believe jewelry and watches you can just go to a pawn shop and just
So to be clear, some of you all, maybe you have looked at the stats already, then you might be wondering why KWSP or EPF is not included here. And the reason is because at least until 55, you actually cannot withdraw, or at least you cannot withdraw fully your EPF. You can withdraw usually for specific reasons, but basically we are trying to measure liquid, meaning in the next 3 days, if you ask for the money, will you be able to get every dollar out? So you can see here, this is quite telling, that out of the 19 candidates, only 3 has a positive liquid net worth. Melanie Ting, which is the youngest, interestingly, she's more liquid than a lot of other people.
Yeah, she don't really have anything because she's just like 23 years old, no car, no property.
But of course, this is net liquid. It doesn't mean that Melanie Ting has more cash than say VKK Raja.
Yeah.
It's just that VKK Raja owns a lot of different businesses. So when you take all the businesses, you minus off whatever cash and whatever assets that they have, you get the liquid net worth.
Yeah.
So don't get the misimpression.
Yes, exactly. Okay, this is measured by cash. I mean, cash is just cash itself only. So you can see that, KN Lee, which is the oldest member candidates in Muda, she holds a lot of cash. She don't really have any money in the KWSP. She already withdraw everything out already. And then the remaining one is like 300,000. I think most of them hold like 5-figure to 4-figure kind of like cash.
Some 3 figures, Dobby, Aida, and Amir.
Yeah, exactly. I believe Amir, if I'm not mistaken, it is the co-founder of Muda.
I see.
If I'm not mistaken, yeah. But correct me if I'm wrong in the comments.
So before you go, like you can take note. So VKK Raja is the wealthiest on paper.
Yeah.
But yet he only has 22,000. So that is very big characteristics of a lot of more ambitious, forward-looking kind of money managers for their lives, where they are very low in cash, but they have a lot of these different assets that hopefully in the future will pay them more. And probably a lot of these different companies is the reason why that VKK Raja has the highest amount of salary as well. But to take note on the flip side is that the valuations that you see now, his 13.9 million net worth, really is based on certain assumptions, certain guesswork as to how much the collective net worth of all his company is based on his stakes, which may be understated, which may be overstated, we don't know. So I wouldn't say take that number at face value, but be very careful when you just say, oh, he's the richest. There are a lot of ways to measure wealth, as Jonathan has pointed out with liquid net worth and all that.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
But guys, before we move on, if you're someone looking to level up their stock investing skills and you need a lot more guidance, we do have a one-on-one program called the Mentorship Program. If you're interested, you can apply it in the comment section or the description.
Now, here comes the interesting part, because we're going to look at each of the asset breakdown. So basically, who is the stock investor, who's the property owner and whatnot. So the first one is stock market. Notice that not many of them are actually in stock investor themselves. So only, I believe, like 2 of them only own stock in Malaysia. Okay. So they did declare like one of them owned Datasonic, about like 1,000 shares worth. The other one is quite uncertain because they just mentioned Bursa Malaysia shares. I'm not sure whether is it Malaysian stock or is Bursa Malaysia share itself. So yeah, and it's also quite a small amount only. Like they own like 4 figures only worth of stocks. Yeah, so it's only these 2 individuals.
Yeah, I mean all this can really be explained by mainly by how young the team is.
Yeah.
So typically when I think people under 40, they do not have as much disposable income. And then I think the facts you can see here, right? Like the people with the most cash are typically oldest, except Abby. But everyone except Abby is above 30 and most of them are above 40. So you can see this sort of trend where and most of them are, under 40, the age range.
Yeah.
So that is the big contributing factor, to me at least, as to why they are not as invested.
Yeah, and the next one, obviously, some of them have actually money in their unit trust, ASB, even crypto, and even some of the SSPN trust fund. Wow. Yeah, so the crypto, if I can remember correctly, he only put in like 1.6K in Ethereum.
So how, like, they do it through Luno, I assume, or some sort of regulated?
Yeah, I mean, it was not mentioned. It doesn't say you got crypto asset only. Yeah, but you can see that still, I think it's like around 20 to 30% of them own stocks indirectly from all of these different kind of like trust funds. And now we come to business, because business is not really like directly related to stock. This one is like their own personal like ventures and whatnot.
Private equity.
Yes. So you can see that like 26.3% of them are business owner. And then this is the breakdown for each of them. So VKK Raja, he didn't really Maybe he did state the name, but then I didn't really include. If you want to know more, you can check out their website because there's like a lot of names for under VKK Raja's. There's a lot of Sendian Berhats that actually it's worth up to like 11.2 million. So you can see that most of his asset is tied to his business. And then also Dr. Siva, also he owns like 12 businesses. I think also it's like a family-owned business. That one is worth about 450,000. And then the remainder is like that lor. So they are all like CEOs and directors in their own respective field in their working.
Interesting that like Abby Lim's one is got decimals and all that. This is including public shares, right?
This is basically their own shares in the company that they are.
So specific number.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So whatever number is there.
So only a quarter are business owners. I mean, personally, I hope that it's a lot bigger, more than 50%. So at least when they go and campaign and all that, they actually know business. I think that's very useful.
Right. Okay, property owners, because majority of them are like 30, 40 years old, right? So obviously like half of them, almost half are actually property owners. And then you can see KN Lee, which is the oldest member here. She owns about 8 million. If I recall correctly, there's two breakdown. One is, I'm not sure whether it's a semi or bungalow. And then the other one is a land. Yeah, she just break down into these two categories only. I cannot remember what is the value for each one. Is 3 million if I recall. The other one is like 5
Bungalow
million.
is 3 million, land is 5 million.
Then I have to go back to the link and see.
Wait, so then her net worth should be a lot higher, right, than what was reported. Why is the net worth
because
so much lower?
Is it? Because she got a lot of loan.
1.1.
She got like a 7 to 8 million loan.
Okay.
And the loan is not specified.
But it probably is
linked to property lah.
Maybe on the land lah.
Yeah, land or maybe even property.
So she is asset rich but cash poor.
Correct. And then the remaining one, they all have their own properties. You can see VKK Raja again, Dr. Siva, and all those rich candidates are all part of the property gang.
Yeah. Alright guys, enjoying the video so far? If the answer is yes, remember, like, comment, subscribe. And as far as comments go, if you don't like the video, do let us know as well. We always take all sorts of feedback, as long as they're constructive.
Okay, now this is the car segment.
Boy.
So majority of them actually own cars. I mean, obviously, because we're in Malaysia. So 78.9% have cars. And then you can see...
do you remember the cars? Did they state the cars?
Yeah. So some of them own like Hondas.
I know Dobby was a Honda, if I remember.
Yeah.
Checking out.
And then there's also like a BMW. But that one is like a 2015. Yeah, 2016. There's also Merc also, if I'm not mistaken, but majority is like Proton together.
Okay, what does I don't know, VKK?
No, VKK Hafiz, he didn't
specify.
He just write as 344 under car.
Okay, and then Hafiz and Abby?
That one I cannot remember, but most likely it's gonna be hot. There's like 2 or 3 cars.
Maybe some
minimum,
Toyota.
Yeah,
it's actually one thing to also take note of is I don't know whether these numbers are actually what they paid for or depreciated.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, this one
I have a feeling it's what they paid for. I think it's around there.
Yeah, it could be. It could be what they paid for.
Yeah,
but
we'll
it wasn't really mentioned over there. But majority of them are car owners. Okay, so the last one is jewelry and watch. Not many of them actually own jewelry and watch. VKK Raja,
Submariner right there.
Yeah, so VKK Raja also, he have like watches and he also have jewelries. But then if I can recall correctly, the breakdown I think is like 40-60%. I think like 40% is watch, 60% is jewelry, if I'm not mistaken.
40% is watch, okay.
Yeah, of this value, if I'm not mistaken lah. But correct me, because I'm trying to think everything on top of my head.
Yep.
But so you can see majority of them, you don't see any like Malaysian Chinese owned jewelries except for Abby Lima. Yeah. Usually it's like the Indians or Malay. But a very small amount only that owns these accessories.
Yeah, right guys, so that's it for a breakdown. Let us know if we miss anything out in the comments. Let us, give us your thoughts, right, on each of these candidates and what you think of them as far as their money management goes, not their politics, okay? But if you want to talk about politics, that's fine as well. Before we go, reminder, we have this FIRL Pro program designed for you to shortcut your research to finding potential investments. How do you do that in the program? Well, once you sign up, you will gain access to all our old reports. I think right now we are like 40 over reports.
30 to 30 plus.
30 plus reports. And there are a lot of other cool stuff inside there as well. Management notes, stuff like that. And, takes you 15 minutes to read one report, right? Very quick. The key thing here is if you sign up and after you paid money and you feel like this doesn't really work for you, within 10 days, you can just straight away ask for a refund, right? We will give you the refund, no questions asked, except just to learn why did you decide to refund. That's one. This has been the performances. So far, so good. 19% roughly in 10 plus months. And if you want to get a taste of what's it like, you can actually head over to our free sample link, which you can find in the comments of the description, and get a taste for yourself to see whether it suits you. But whether or not you decide to sign up, just so you know, always appreciative of your support. So like, comment, subscribe, the usual stuff. And I look forward to seeing you in the next video.